around. Hey, everybody. We've done almost 50 cruises, but every now and then we run across some really cool itineraries that are unlike any other. We're about to reveal the most hidden and unique cruise destinations. Get ready to add some brand new spots to your bucket list. You might be tired of the same old cruise destinations. Look, I'm the last person to say that there's anything wrong with having an amazing cruise going to the Caribbean, going to Alaska, some of the more common places in Europe. Any cruise is a good cruise as far as we're concerned. I think you'd agree.
Absolutely.
But if you're somebody who's cruised a lot, you're a seasoned cruiser, or if you're just looking for something really unique, really local, and maybe not the masses, we want to introduce to you 7 unique itineraries that you have to see. And it's probably going to surprise you, places that you can go on board a cruise ship. And even more, we're going to share one exotic cruise that costs less than $125 per day per person. Pretty amazing.
So our first cruise that we're going to talk about is a princess cruise. It's called Mediterranean with Greece, Italy, and Croatia. Those are all very popular places in the Mediterranean, but we're going to show you what's not so common about it.
This first one actually begins and ends in Rome. What's great about that, it makes it super convenient, really easy to get flights to Rome from the US. The really interesting thing about this 14-day cruise is it puts 2 7-day cruises together. You'll notice right in the middle, you stop once again in Rome. But if you don't have any time at the beginning or the end, you're just coming in and then you're leaving. The reason we like this one is look how special this is. You get to go to Corfu, Greece, Dubrovnik. You're going to go to Montenegro. We've been to Montenegro, Kotor recently. What did you think of it?
Kotor is a beautiful port. It looks almost like Switzerland. It's just gorgeous. So that's a very special small city port that you're going to. Another one, Albania, Saranda. So you don't see those on cruise itineraries very often.
Right now, we're actually in Albania, which is just a coincidence. It's our first time ever to Albania. You can see you go to the birthplace of the Olympics. You've got Malta. Have you ever been to Malta? Really special place, super unique. And then in Sicily, and you can see you do have Naples twice. Maybe you do 2 different things in this amazing food mecca. So really interesting itinerary because you put 2 back-to-backs together. You got the full 14 days. And I'm going to surprise you with how affordable this is. But this is not even going to be the most inexpensive itinerary that we have. That comes a little bit later.
The great thing about Naples, doing 2 days there, one day you go to Capri, and then the next time you can go to Pompeii. You don't have to decide what you want to do in Naples. You get 6 countries.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. 6 countries in 2 weeks. All right, now what's really cool about this is on Princess Cruises. It's a fairly affordable cruise overall. As you can see, you can do 14 days. And what I've done here, this is an inside cabin, and this is a balcony cabin. An inside cabin per person per day, just $157. You get your hotel room, you get all your food, you get all your entertainment and your transportation, and sometimes even more, right? Just $150 per person per day. I can tell you most hotels in Rome for one night are probably $400 to $500, and that doesn't include your transportation, your entertainment, all your meals. So really great deal. And you can see even a balcony cabin, if you prefer that, just $214 per person per day. So really great deal for 6 countries over 2 weeks with some amazing stops that you just typically don't find on most cruise lines.
And those prices include tips and everything, right?
Yeah, great point. That includes gratuities, port fees, so pretty much everything except, depending upon the cruise line, it might be some extras on alcohol or optional expenses, but really this does cover most of your expenses. Down below, I will leave a link. We share a video and we show you how you can avoid doing cruise ship excursions, and it could save you $500 to $1,500 per cruise. Make sure you go ahead and click that link down below and learn how to do that for yourself.
Our next cruise is a Norwegian Cruise Lines cruise. It's called Middle East, Seychelles, Madagascar, and the UAE. It's a 2-week cruise, and it goes out of Doha, Qatar, which is very easy to get to on direct flights from the United States. And what I like about it is you spend a few days in the United Arab Emirates. So you've got 2 days in Dubai, which is very cool. You've got Abu Dhabi, which has the Formula One, and Doha, Qatar also, of course. Then you have some nice relaxing sea days. Then you have the Seychelles Islands for 2 days, which we haven't been to yet, but it's on the list. It sounds amazing. Then you hit Madagascar, which is super exotic. Stop in Reunion, which is a French island, and then you end in Mauritius, which you may have not heard of, but you can get direct flights to Paris from there.
It's a really exotic itinerary. Definitely some places we haven't even been to and we definitely want to get into. So this one really surprised us, where you can go on the Norwegian Dawn, which is a very nice ship. A lot of inclusions with Norwegian. Let me show you what the pricing looks like. Remember, the first price is going to be an inside cabin. The second price is going to be a balcony. If you don't need the balcony, you can save a lot of money, just $112 per person per day for that itinerary. Just $1,500 per person for 2 full weeks. And again, all inclusive, everything including gratuities, port fees, and everything else that we mentioned. If you want the balcony, you just want that great scenery as you go along on this journey, then it's $214 per person per day. Understand the prices when we're recording this. They may go up, they may go down. My advice always on cruises, if you're interested, book it early. Most of the time, prices don't go down. The next one is on Oceania Cruises, and this is Reykjavik, Iceland, to Edinburgh, Scotland. Now we're going a bit more upscale, a bit more luxury. There are more inclusives here. There's typically going to be your specialty restaurants, all included. Beer and wine at dinners, some cocktails on Oceania, an allotment of free shore excursions, or they'll give you a dollar amount, like $1,000 that you can use towards shore excursions. But no matter what, it is going to be more expensive. As you can see, we'll go back to the nightly rates in a moment. I would say typically twice as much as your Princess, Royal Caribbean, Norwegian Cruise Line. But don't worry, we'll get to some as well that are even more affordable in a moment.
This next one is also very cool. Reykjavik to Edinburgh, Scotland. It's another 14-day adventure. It starts with a couple of ports in Iceland, which is nice, a little bit of sea time, and then 3 ports in Greenland, which I think is very cool. And then you have a few more days at sea, and then you hit Scotland. Oh, you have the Faroe Islands too, and Aberdeen, and then you end up in Edinburgh, which is one of those great cities in Europe.
Yeah, so this is pretty special because Iceland, amazing place, incredible. I would suggest coming there early a few days, spending some time. You can do the South Island tour, the North Island, really worth doing. So that's what I love about this. And it's a very short flight, really, surprisingly, to Iceland from the US. It's, I think, about 6 hours or so, give or take, and very affordable. We mentioned some things that are included with Oceania. You can see here you've got $800 in shore excursion credits, champagne, wine, and more. Gourmet specialty dining is not extra, unlimited Wi-Fi. And if you go through typically a cruise-only travel agent, there'll be a video in the description where I show you more ways to get money back, booking specifically with certain cruise travel agents, and you'll get even more onboard credit, which is special. All right, so let's talk pricing, right? That's important. Inside cabin is going to be your most affordable. It's going to be $397 per person per day. I know it's getting more expensive, but we are getting more up into the luxury class of cruise lines. If you double that, I know it's $800 per day for a couple. But once again, if you think about what is a hotel at a Four Seasons, a Ritz-Carlton, could be $800, $1,000, $1,200 per night. Remember, this includes that transportation, Iceland, Greenland, to the UK, some really amazing stops like Monica mentioned. If you want the balcony, you want to splash out a little bit, $561 per person per day. Yes, it's quite a bit more than these other two, but again, when you're talking a smaller luxury ship, you do pay more for that. If you like what you're seeing so far, give us a thumbs up on this video and please subscribe to the channel. That will help us a lot. We want to know if we get a lot of likes on this video, we can start even looking for more unique itineraries for all of you. Plus, also, we've had some ideas about finding some really low cost itineraries that might really surprise you. We'd love to share some more of those with you. But if you let us know or a comment down below, that'll help us a lot. We'll know that you want us to create more videos just like this.
And do stay tuned because we have more great itineraries coming up. Our next one is an Azamara cruise, and it's called Africa Cruise, Mauritius, Seychelles, and Madagascar.
This one actually starts in Mauritius. I know we showed you another cruise also in a similar region, but this has got a few more special stops. We're big fans of Azamara. We've got a video on Azamara. You can click the link down below. You start in Mauritius, not that hard to get to, especially if you can get to France, Paris, and then take a flight down to Mauritius. You have a sea day to start, and then you jump right into Madagascar for a day. Another location in Madagascar, so really exotic. How many people have been there? Another country that I barely know really anything about. Do you know anything about Mayotte?
Mayotte? No, I don't. It's an island.
That's what makes this unique and off the beaten path. You've got a sea day there as well. Then you go to Zanzibar, Tanzania. We told you we're going to give you off the beaten path. How about Mombasa, Kenya? What's cool about this stop is you can also go on an African safari. So you're in Kenya, you can do a safari stop as well. So that's really cool. Don't forget the excursions that are possible with these stops. Just start dreaming about what's possible in some of these locations. How about the Seychelles, the second largest archipelago out there? Amazing tropical paradise, place that is on our bucket list to go. And you get another stop in the Seychelles, and then you end up back in Mauritius. This is an incredible itinerary. Azamara is, again, once more of a luxury cruise line. A lot is included. Your beer and wine, your Wi-Fi, your premium beverage package, your gratuities, everything that we mentioned.
And on their own, these places aren't super easy to get to. So what's great is your cruise will take you right there.
Let's talk pricing a little bit. I may have scared you a bit on Oceania. Don't worry. Azamara, this one on an inside cabin, just $239 per person per day. Balcony, just $363 per person per day. Great deal when you think about where you're going and how exotic this is. Let's face it, most people you know probably have not been to really any of these locations. In one cruise, you can get to all of these countries and locations, truly unique and off the beaten path. The next one is on Princess Cruises, and this is the Sea of Japan. What we really love about cruises like this, these are more intensives. So you get to go to a lot of locations, like Monica just mentioned, that'd be really difficult to get to if you're going by land. We were just recently on an Ireland intensive on Azamara. There was no way we would have gotten to 12 stops in basically 13 days, 14 days
Like
overall, which was incredible. Don't forget about intensives as well, where you can do a whole bunch of stops in just the UK or just Scotland or just Iceland, or in this case, Japan or Ireland. That's another way where most people just go to one stop in a country, one stop in Croatia. You can actually see a number of different places if you slow it down on one of these type of cruise itineraries.
Well, this next one is a Japan intensive. It's 19 days and it goes to 12 different ports, all cities in Japan and even 2 places in South Korea, which is very cool.
We did actually a Japan intensive on Azamara in our case back, I think in April of this year. It was incredible. Every single day we were in another location. We hit a lot of these. This actually has a few stops we didn't even get to on that one. But Japan is an amazing place to explore. One, it's super welcoming. The culture is incredible. The food is amazing. And right now the US dollar is going very far in Japan. What I like about this is you stop in Tokyo, spend a few days in Tokyo. It's an incredible city. You get the entire, as you can see, pretty much all of Japan here. And Monica mentioned 2 stops as well in South Korea. So this is an incredible itinerary. If you've ever wanted to do more of a deep dive, just trying to explore all this on land and train and cars, I wouldn't want to do it. But by boat, unpack once and you get to see all of these destinations. And once again, pricing not bad. Princess has really good pricing. A lot is included. Inside cabin, $147 per person per day. Want the balcony? It's $218 per person per day. Tokyo is not difficult to get to. There are even direct flights from the USA. You can actually watch some of our videos and we show you how to get into business class using credit card points.
Our next cruise is by Azamara. It's Islands of the Mediterranean. And I think this was a very neat format because there's a lot of Mediterranean cruises, but this one focuses on islands in the Med. This cruise starts in Barcelona, which is, of course, very easy to get to.
One of our favorite cities.
Yes, and it ends in Nice in south of France, which is also very easy
A new
to get
favorite
to.
for us.
And a new favorite, yes. We were just recently there. It starts in Mallorca, then it goes to Menorca, which is a smaller island that is maybe lesser known. And then you have not 1, but 2 stops in Sardinia, an island in Italy. There's even a stop in Tunisia, a country that we haven't been to yet. Interestingly, we're actually going to do this cruise because we've already booked it. So I'm looking forward to going to Tunisia.
I think this is in October of
2025. So you go to Malta. Valletta is a beautiful city. It's a cool island and it's just a great place. Sicily. And then Sorrento, you can actually go to Capri, which we've not been to either. Here's the second stop in Sardinia, which is the island in Italy. And then Corsica is a French island, so it stops there as well before going to Nice. So I think it's an interesting approach. Those are places we typically haven't been.
We've done cruises like this into this region, but honestly, we haven't hit most of those stops. Are just not typically on most cruise itineraries. And I love the start and stop. Getting to Barcelona, easy. And Nice is a really great city. You've got Cannes nearby, and the south of France has got some really amazing things, all very close within a train ride. So I spent a few days in Nice as well before you head home. Like we mentioned, we booked this one. We booked it while we were on another Azamara cruise, and that's another one of our little inside tips. You book your next cruise on that same cruise line, they always give you extras. We got a lot of extras thrown at us, which is good. That's in the video down below. A lot of tips and hints on how to save on your bookings. $357 a day per person inside cabin. That's the pricing right now. We were lucky we did pay less than this. There was another reason for that. Since we've sailed a lot on Azamara and we got status matching, originally when Royal Caribbean owned them, we were able to get actually 6 nights free on this one. So little secret there, we were only paying for 4 nights on this cruise, but we have a video on that as well in the link down below. And then an ocean view, because right now it looks like the balcony cabins are booked up. It's proving to be very popular, but you can still get an ocean view cabin, and that's $420 per person per night. Let's end it with one on Princess Cruises, our second least expensive. We showed you one that was $112, right, per person per night. This one is $120. But what we really liked about this one is if you don't want to go far flung, you want to stay in the US, you want to make it really easy to get there, take a look at this one. It's a 10-day classic Canada and New England. This one is in August 2025. By the way, all the ones we've shared are in 2025. You get 10 days, you get 6 different ports. You get an idea of how this is going to work. You're going to start in, easy enough, Boston. You end up in Quebec City, which again, I would recommend spending a few days in Quebec City before you come back home. And what's kind of neat about this one is you hit some places that may be familiar to some of you, but you have Portland, Maine. You've got St. John in Canada. You have Halifax and Sydney in Canada, which we were at recently. We took a cruise about 6-8 months ago when we went from, I believe, New York up into some of these stops and then over to Iceland. But this even has some stops. We actually haven't been to Portland, Maine. We haven't been to Charlottetown, Canada. It's going to another place I can't even pronounce. What is this?
Saguenay?
Saguenay, Canada. And then you've got an overnight in Quebec City, you end up there. So what I like about this one, it's super convenient, really easy, but again, probably a lot of places most people haven't gone to on a cruise ship at all, and just really convenient and very affordable. Super simple, inside cabin, $120, a balcony, $209 per person per day. Clearly, we've introduced to you 7 pretty amazing itineraries, quite affordable. I hope you would agree in most cases, but really off the beaten path. And these are just some of the benefits. Super unique, fewer crowds. It's exploration and adventure. Hey, let's face it, you're probably going to be to places that all your friends and family have never been to. You'll have some bragging rights. And cruise ships are just some of the best ways to see these destinations because of the convenience.
And you only unpack once.
I hope we've inspired you with those itineraries. We have a lot more we'd like to share with you as far as like amazing value, as well as really cool, unique itineraries we keep finding. So if you're interested at all, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel so you'll be notified when we post those next itineraries, and leave some comments down below. If you've discovered some really amazing itineraries that the community would want to see, by all means, share those. We may be interested in those, and who knows, we may end up booking those cruises as well. Take care, everybody. See you in the next video.